Yeah, yeah. We in the meth lab. We in the meth lab. We got
Yes.
the OG Ruck. Ruck.
You already know. For
OG Ruck in the
moving.
building.
Yes.
You already know. We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. All right, Ruck. Let me ask you a question. What's the
Yes.
difference between being Crip in the Bronx compared to the rest of the boroughs? Speak on that.
And the Bronx is for a very long time. It always been mostly blood because the originators of blood come from the Bronx. So they had sets out there before Crips. I was out there before a lot of people, but they had sets out there like the non-trade gangsters and the 1-8 trades. So it been mostly blood for a very long time. Where Brooklyn they had Crippin crazy. So it's all the way different. Other Queens had Crippin crazy. A lot of people had Crippin crazy, but the Bronx really didn't because the Bronx was mostly blood.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, while being Crip in the Bronx, right? Like, I know you was around a lot of the homies and all that. People you
Correct.
grew up with and all that. Did they feel like they can't trust you, or have you ever felt like you can't trust them?
To a degree, I'm gonna say in 2000, because for a large part of when everything started getting out there with Bloods and Crips in the Bronx, I was locked up. I come home in 2000. It's individuals who were probably like 5 years younger. They didn't have that type of trust. We from the same project. I'm from Patterson Projects. We all from Patterson. On my side, from the 143rd side to 145th, we were Crippin. From the
But
140,
Mitchell, what about Mitchell? Mitchell too, right? Mitchell
Mitchell
was doing a thing
all the way
too.
Crip. Mitchell's all the way Crip. Marhaven all the way Crip. Patterson was half Crip, half Blood. So the Bloods in Patterson, they weren't too trustworthy. Even though we from the same projects, went to the same schools, grew up together and all that, it wasn't that trustworthy. There wasn't no trust there. Like, you blue, I'm red. It might be some smoke, and it was some smoke for a very long period of time in 2000. So there wasn't no trust for real, for real.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. While being locked up, right? You knew you was outnumbered. Did you ever feel like dropping your flag?
No, on a number of occasions, because it gets to a point where you thinking like, you get locked up, you in the streets, you do what you do. I grew up in the streets. I was a criminal, hands down. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. I was into crime. You get locked up. Now it's like, all right, I did what I did. I get locked up. What is the objective once you locked up? And it gets to a point after a while, you like, the objective is to get back home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everywhere I go, I'm like, I'm Crip, I'm Crip, I'm Crip. I go to the box and all this great. Like, I go to the board, get here at the board, two more years. Like, I supposed to go home. Now I got to do 2 more years. So it gets to the point where, like, man, I should just get up, because the point is to get home. When you locked up, the point is to get home.
That's a fact.
So sometimes you're gonna feel that way. Like, and for me as a Crip, I go to certain jails, and like, say Attica, for instance. All right, so the color schemes are different. You in New York, you can't wear blue or gray, which are primary Crip colors. You can't wear blue, gray, orange. Certain colors you can't wear. So the Crips in New York just all wore purple because that was a allowable color and we could recognize each other. I go to y'all all purple. I'm like a beacon. You see me all as purple, I'm Crippin'. If you Crip, come see me. Nobody come see me. I'm there by myself. I got to get shaken. I go back to the box. I feel a way about that. I'm putting my life on the line, my freedom on the line for this Crippin'. And it's Crips there, but they ain't cracking out. So you be like, man, fuck this shit. It's always going to come to your mind.
Okay. I understand too. Understood. So that brings me to my next question. Do you think Crips low riding? You think that's a smart move, or is this some pussy shit? What you think on that?
It's a double-edged sword. Like, some people are literally that pussy. You're going to come up, you're going to see it's always smoky, and you're going to fold. Other people go through it and they get to a certain jail, like I ain't even gonna say nothing no more. Because my objective is to get home. Like I went to Southport one time, Southport, the box in New York, and I ran into Scully, the Jamaican brother. Like, you know, the Jamaicans was crazy, and and
that's a fact.
They had a slogan called "Struggle's rough, but freedom's a must." Freedom is a must. So some people hang their chucks up. They're like, I gotta get home. I got family. I got a whole community that, got love for me. They come see me. They do whatever they got to do for me or whatever. But I'm doing this dumb shit. I'm banging day to day, year to year, getting more time than I'm supposed to have. So a person may be like, nah, I can't keep doing this because it's just me. And it seems kind of unfair. So I understand when people have that feeling, but some people are not real enough to stand on their own 2 feet and face the opposition.
Now, would it be in just you, right? What gave you the motivation to keep on doing it? You could have said chill. You could have said, you know what? Yo, forget all this. You know what I'm saying? But you kept on. What made you want to keep on?
My go-to answer is I'm from the Bronx. The Bronx raised me, and the people that raised me in the Bronx is like, yo, get to it. Like, it is what it is. Like, we fought every day. The knuckle checkers there, weapon, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We was with it. We was with all the nonsense. So when I go upstate, it's like I'm still that same person that the Bronx raised. I'm going to wear the scars. I got the scars to this day. And I'm going to keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. Let me ask you what you think about this. What you think about the Crips in Cali and the Crips and the Bloods in Cali, right? They feel like over here in New York, the blood and Crippin is fake. How you feel about that?
Well, I'm gonna enlighten you on something because I'm validated by Cali. I'm Force Ray Gangster. I got a subset 280, and 280 is also validated by Cali. They flew out there in 2019 on Trade Day, which is April 3rd. They was out there, met my big homie out there, and it's all good. So it's not every blood and every Crip in Cali that feel that way. It's certain sections. Like they got so many sets that people still never heard of in New York. So when you get to places like the 4 Trays, we valid in Cali. You got the Brims, they valid in Cali. But sometimes you got like GS9 that doesn't exist in Cali.
That don't exist in Cali. That's
no,
in
they
Brooklyn.
don't. So
that's only Brooklyn.
Correct. So they gotta connect with something that's not really what they are. So it gets complicated. So when you got a GS9 and you got the GS9 is under the gangster card, but they're not connected to any of the gangsters in Cali, they're gonna feel a way like that's fake. But when it comes to certain sets,
understood,
blood or Crip, that are validated in California and they jack it, they with it. They ain't got no problem with it at all. So it goes both ways. Some got a problem with it, some don't. A lot of Compton sets ain't in New York, so they're gonna have a problem with it. A lot of Watt sets ain't in New York, so they have a problem with it. That's the only thing. It goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Okay. Now, see, you was locked up early on. We're not talking about right now. We talking about early on in time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, have you ever felt oppressed by the Kings while you was on the island?
I only had one situation, and that was in 2001. But it was regular. All right, and everybody know New York for Rikers Island, but in the Bronx you got the boat. That's where everybody from the Bronx will go. You go to the boat. So I get to the boat, and mind you, you had the black brothers there, but the ones who wanted to press me were the Latino brothers, the Latin Kings and the M.E.T.H. I watched a whole bunch of people go to the back and get their stuff taken. I told one dude from Webster, like, if they call you, if you crack off, I'm cracking off with you. I don't know what all these other people talking about, but if you crack off, I'm cracking off with you. We close. We relatively close together. Webster and Patterson. If you crack off, I'm cracking on. He went to the back. He got his shit tucked and he ain't do shit. They called me to the back about 4 hours later. I get it shaking. And then after that, it was like Tankhead was there. Butter was there. A few hitters that's from the Bronx that's black pulled up. It's like, all right, now move your bunk over here. Because they seen that I was ready to scrap for mine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the first and last time that I had issues with the Latino gangs. Because I'm technically a Latino myself. I'm Panamanian. But because of my complexion, I'm automatically black.
So you know the lingo and all that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that automatically should put you... Okay, so that should put you in another lane right off the back.
No, later on. Because I always carry myself as a black man before anything.
Okay.
So a lot of times, a lot of people don't even know I know any type of Spanish or that I have a Spanish heritage or none of that. I carry myself as a black man before anything.
Okay. Okay.
So later on,
as you should, as you should.
I took advantage of it later on.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Why not?
There you have it.
Okay. 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 Now let me ask you this: while doing your time, have you read any books that inspired you to want to teach?
I've read all type of books. I'm a bookworm off the rip. So one of my favorite books, like Man-Child in the Promised Land. A person will read that. That's a young brother from the early teens in the streets, going through all his struggles. Parents is broke, poor, whatever. He went through it, got locked up, went through the penitentiary and all of that. But also Francis Cress Wilson. Like I read practically everything. Machiavelli. The Book of Five Rings, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I read everything.
Bodied it.
I read.
Nice. Now, okay, let me ask you this: what knowledge have you obtained from these books to carry forth in your personal life?
The best thing I believe I've received from these books is from Machiavelli, when he asks, "Is it better to be feared or to be loved?"
Yep.
And the way it was broken down, it is better to be feared than loved, because love is maintained by a bond of gratitude, which is easily broken because men are self-interested. But it's desired to be both, to be feared and loved. That's one of the best things that I learned, because I always was in the street. So I had to get in tune with that.
Well, you got two different types of people. You got people that appreciate you for the love, and you got people that treat you like you weak, that take you as you weak for showing the love. You know what I mean? So you do need both. You need both.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To conduct yourself, like, you know what I'm saying, as you in your path of life, you need both. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Let me ask you this: how do you feel about now, New York today? Where you got different dynamics now. You got the GDs, you got Blickies, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel about New York today? Do you think that like our city really needed this? You know what I mean?
Nah.
No.
With Crippin, with the GDs, in early days, we had a little alliance with GDs.
Yep. The 8 ball.
So a lot of Crippin got confused because a lot of Crips was spitting GD knowledge, like they sounded like they was gangster disciples. So that got confused. I don't know why it went in opposite directions, but it did. So it's mainly in Brooklyn. So in the Bronx, there's really no, like, I ain't gonna say there's no GDs, but they're really not that relevant. Like I'm talking about Mitchell's, Mahaven, Patterson, Cortland, Cypress, Jackson, Vietnam, whatever neighborhood you name at the South Bronx, they not there. So we can't say as Crips we got smoked with GDs like Brooklyn do. But in one instance, one of my lokes from the Bronx went to Brooklyn and the GDs cracked on them. So now we feel away type. Like, but I don't think that should be a thing. I don't even know why that is a thing. That's not my lifestyle. I don't have nothing to do with GD. I don't know them like that.
That's a fact. Yeah, I mean, it's from Chicago. You know what I mean? It's from Chirac. Like, that's not really our lane.
I'm talking about in New York. I know where they
Yeah,
from.
it's not our lane. It's not
Yeah,
our lane. Like we
that's how
don't
I feel.
do that here. Like that's their stuff. You know, that's what they do over there. That's not a New York thing. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's always gonna cause confusion when you got, you know what I'm saying, other cultures being waves being rid over here. You know, that's always gonna cause a little bit confusion. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way with the Blood and Crips. Like, if we didn't kill one another on the streets, why we got smoke? Why we just
That's
picked
a
up
fact.
a whole beef that never exists? These are we from the Bronx. We've been here. Now I'm from Patterson, and anybody from the Bronx know that Patterson got serious smoke with Cortland. It goes away, it comes back.
For years, for years.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
for
different.
years.
So with that, I can understand. But if I'm from one side of Patterson, you from another side of Patterson, we went to the same school and all that, we picked up different flags, different colors. Why we got beef now? I never did nothing to you. We shouldn't have no beef. I don't care what you claim. We in the same neighborhood, went to the same schools. We got no beef. That's how I feel.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. I agree. All right. Let me ask you this, right? Now, you know, everybody's seen you on a Scarface for life.
Correct.
Scarface for life. Have you ever questioned getting on that? Like when Troy Reed brung you to that table and asked you to get on that DVD. Have you questioned yourself like, yo, should I do this? Should I not do this? Because Rucc, you know that blew you. That made you famous right there, right off the back when you got on that DVD back in them times. Have you ever questioned getting on it or not getting on it at that time?
No, I never questioned it because the way he approached it, he approached it with Alonzo Seal, who's an ex-CO. And they felt the way about the next generation coming up, not understanding what going to Rikers Island was about, how serious it was. So now he's coming to people he knew that whether in the penitentiary or in the streets was about that life. But even though we about that life, we can still get touched. So I mean, you could get touched. That's how it's like to say how serious it was. Even the story I told, like you can get treated so foully. Just going to sleep. You in a mod house, you go to sleep, you can get treated filthy. So it was supposed to be educational. Like how serious it is to end up in the island for the generation that was coming after us. I don't know the effect it had because I still wasn't out the streets and I ended up getting incarcerated again. And by the way things look right now, it ain't really have too much effect because these cats out here are crazy.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now let me ask you this, right? If it was something you could tell the young dudes, right, coming up now, they might have just picked up a flag. It don't matter what color. They might have just picked up a flag, right? What advice would you give them?
I'm gonna give them the advice that it starts in your household first, family first. I don't care what you claim, family first. That's who either raised you, grew up with you, slept with you, ate with you, day to day, hour after hour. Family first. After family, community. After community, borough. After borough, city. After city, state. After state, the nation. You got to prioritize it. But it starts in your household. Family
starts in the household
first. That's the first responsibility. Because before I'm anything, I'm a man. And a man has to live up to his responsibilities. Whatever you're responsible for, you got to carry that. So that's where it starts. Family first.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, yo, we in the meth lab. We got OG Rucc in the building. Yo, OG Rucc, good looking for coming through. Yo, everybody, everybody listen. Go subscribe to OG Rucc on YouTube. Follow OG Rucc on Instagram. I got it scrolling on the bottom. Yo, support his music too, because y'all ain't know he do music. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna end it off with this. Yo, Rucc, when you started doing music, let them know.
I was probably like 8, you know what I'm saying? Like, because my brother's a DJ, DJ Kim. You can follow him on Facebook and Instagram, DJ Kim, Super Rockin' E Kim. You got Percy P on Instagram. He was the rapper for my cousin who was DJing for him, and Percy P is well. But digging in the crates, Paul Yardy, AG, Diamond D.
Party Yardy, rest in peace.
You know what I'm saying? That's the people's. Rough Riders try to snatch me up before I got locked up. So I always been hip hop since like the 80s. and I try to keep it current as much as I can. I'm a lyricist. Some people don't like lyricism like that, but I'm gonna keep it going though.
Okay, you already know. You already know.
One more person. I got my
That's a
guy
fact.
on YouTube, Light. He's on all platforms. Lite, Light. He got a joint out called Mamacita right now. Check for Light. He's
Lite, Light.
Yes. T. Chantel on Facebook. Check for him. He's all over the place. That's my guy. He's extra nice with the music.
Okay, that's a fact. All right, we're gonna end this off with OG Rucc. Last time that I checked. Yo, OG Rucc, good looking for coming through. This is the Meth Lab. You already know.
I'm here.
Yes, sir. You already.
Got 100 goons in the jacks, committing crime in every aspect. Last time that I checked, on the block, that's the hood that I rep. Valley there, that is where you get left. Last time that I checked, I'm the new voice of the X. Come at me, then you better come correct. Last time that I checked, first I got the tours and the tech, then the Gauge and AK came next. Last time that I checked,